Here's how Sam Mostyn today said she'd do her job as Governor-General.
I'm deeply honoured by this great privilege and look forward to representing the values, hopes and aspirations of all Australians. I will never underestimate or take for granted the expectations that come with high office, and I am ready to serve with integrity, compassion and respect.
Joining me is Rowan Dean, editor of the Spectator Australian, host of Outsiders, here on Sky News every Sunday at 9 a.m. Rowan Dean, is this a strange appointment? Have I been a little unfair?
I think actually you've been too fair, Andrew. I was appalled by this decision, and any right-thinking Australian should be. The Liberal Party needs to commit to saying no thanks to her if they get into power, because the whole point, as you were talking earlier about the Governor-General is the monarch's representative in Australia, and the whole point of the constitutional monarchy is that the monarch remains above the political fray, is not associated with political issues, hasn't got previous positions or indeed worked with political parties. That's the whole point of the Governor-General, to be the fair umpire in a constitutional crisis. Now, interestingly, Andrew, Anthony Albanese used to boast that he was the economic advisor to the Gough Whitlam government. Maybe he was telling the truth, because we've seen our economy nosediving under Albo in much the same way we saw it under Whitlam. So I'm kind of wondering, maybe Albanese is taking Sam Mostyn out as a bit of protection in case there's a dismissal part 2 with his name written on it. Because you couldn't get a person, an individual, more closely tied to or empathetic with the Labor Party, and in particular, Anthony Albanese's woke version of the Labor Party. As you were detailing earlier, Andrew, Sam Mostyn has specialised as an activist, made a lot of money, I presume, because you do earn a lot of money if you're on these boards and you're a CEO and chair, etc., etc. You mentioned parody. I looked earlier on her CV online to parody it, but you can't parody it. You can't satirise it, because it is literally every single woke. This is woke central.
Everyone.
She has been on the board or in charge of every single major woke. There's not a single one. And worse than that, Andrew, her shtick seems to be to combine them together, so that she'll put Indigenous with climate change, or women with climate change, or Indigenous with whatever. She combines the causes. So it's woke to the power of woke, Andrew.
It sure is. Now, listen, you know, maybe the weight of tradition will tell, and she will try to be as neutral as everything. Don't forget that Gough Whitlam, you mentioned Gough Whitlam, he was sacked by a Labor-appointed Governor-General, so yes. There's no guarantees. Maybe, okay? But the point is also how you perceive. She's played partisan politics, identity politics really hard. And I want to ask you, Rowan, I mean, she's a Republican, well, you know, but how can we also have a Governor-General who has tweeted that Australia Day is Invasion Day?
And worse than that, on her tweet where she mentioned Invasion Day, she also had the hashtag always was, always will be. So we will now have a Governor-General who actually believes that none of the laws brought to this nation by Britain actually have any relevance or any validity, because always was, always will be basically undermines every property right in Australia, and says that the law does not apply because there is a previous Aboriginal law which applies particularly with property, but that then extends to, by definition, to everything else. So we have a Governor-General who doesn't believe that the laws of this land are valid. That's what she's tweeted. Now, if you tweet always was, always will be, that is what you are saying. You are saying that we do not have any constitutional right to be here on this land, and yet she is the monarch's representative on this continent. David Flint always has a line about never stand between a hard lefty Republican and the monarchy, because they can't get close enough to them. They want to be part of them. And it's this authoritarian woke left dream of the kind of monarchical control. I think this is a shocking appointment, and it really is the nadir of the Albanese government's cronyism. We've seen We saw it in The Voice. She said, Sam Mostyn said after The Voice, she said she felt untethered by the result. Well, untethered means cut loose or unhinged even, but certainly cut loose. She felt cut loose from Australia, from mainstream Australia, by the result, the 60-40 result. So we now have a Governor-General who, by her own definition, does not understand or empathise with the majority of Australian people. That's dangerous.
Yes, well, and now she's the Governor-General. I don't know how she's going to cope with that. But listen, don't forget Bill Hayden, former Labor leader. He became Governor-General. He was a Republican, turned out to be an excellent Governor-General, put all his partisan politics one side. But that said, I've got to say, we've gone from appointing a former Labor leader to appointing a former Labor advisor. That seems to me a marked step downwards in the success ratings, but never mind. Rowan Dean, thank you so much indeed for your time.